Thank you for watching Let the Prophet Speak. I've absolutely enjoyed coming into your homes and spending time with you. I hope it has been a great experience for you because it has been an awesome experience for me. I need to ask you a favor. If you have enjoyed Let the Prophet Speak, if you've been educated, trained, if it has enhanced your life, if you've learned something about your giftings, I need to know it. If you watch me on my YouTube channel, I need you to send me an email, contact me by Facebook, Twitter. Let me know that you're benefiting from Let the Prophet Speak. It is a training tool to help any person that's flowing in the gifts or have the Ascension gift calling or the grace gifts. I want to empower and enhance your life, show you how to take it to the marketplace, make it very relevant. But I need your financial support to remain on the air. It costs an average of $750 per month to air Let the Prophet Speak in Panama City, Florida, as well as Tallahassee, Florida. For many of you, that may not seem like a large amount of money, but the cost of running that broadcast from month to month, year to year, can be overwhelming with all of the other expenses that we incur while we're producing books and giving away cruises and trips to people that are fighting cancer, or single mothers buying clothes for the kids to go back to school, giving away cars and scholarships to college students. So we appreciate any amount that you can give, from $5 to $500. We will appreciate your love offering. Once again, thank you for watching Let the Prophet Speak. I love you more than words could possibly say. Appreciate the viewers, and I would just like to know who you are. I'm waiting to hear from you. Thanks for watching Let the Prophet Speak.
God can do anything more than we can ask or think, more than we can imagine in our wildest dreams. Thank you, Lord, by your blood I have been redeemed. In your mercy you kept me. Who wouldn't let my enemies triumph over me to make me praise a testimony?
I was singing on the stage, and while I was singing, the room started to become foggy. I couldn't see very clearly, and then I noticed I felt like I was losing consciousness, like I was going to faint. And so in my mind I said, oh God, I'm going to faint, like uh-oh, going down. And I was singing the whole time I was saying this. And so in my mind I said, Satan, the blood of Jesus is against you. I plead the blood. I started praying in my mind, and as I started saying that, I started to come back to consciousness. But it took a minute. I had to lean on the podium, and I thought in my head, should I go over? How can I make it and not throw what's going on off and not be obvious? Should I go sit in the chair and start singing? And I was like, then everybody will know what's going on. So I just stood there and just kept singing until my sight and everything came back into focus. And so right after that was going on, then I said, we need intercession. And I said, I was thinking in my head, who? And I was praying in my head while I was singing and looking around the room, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And I said, JB, you got it, let's go. And she came to me and she came down, and while she was praying, I knew that something was happening. And then I heard a horn, or Scout, what is it called? Shofar. I heard it, and so I ran over to the piano and said, hey, find this sound and play it. And he started playing it, and I felt something else was happening, and she started, I'm talking about bearing down even more, and I was like, good God Almighty. But I couldn't see what was going on, but I knew something was happening on it. And then I told him, he got to a point where I told him to stop playing it, and she turned it over, and I had no idea the whole time while the service was going on what was happening, what was I doing, what was next every minute. It reminded me of what you told me last year you had a vision or you prophesied that next year, I see you just stepping off a cliff, and while you're stepping, things are appearing under your feet. And you were telling me that before it's always been, which is true. I would see and then do, see and then do, see and do. But this time I don't see anything. I'm just doing.
Because
I
your
don't
faith
know
will
anything.
take the lead.
Yes, that's what you said. My faith will take the lead. And I didn't understand it until this year. Now it keeps happening, like all the night before service. I kept
So is
saying,
that what kept you out of fear?
Is that what kept you out of fear, knowing that I shared with you that your faith gift would take the lead?
right, it did, because it made me nervous even coming into the service on Saturday. I was like, only I'll have some kind of glimpse of something, some flash here, some song, something to say, okay, I'll grab on, I'll do that, and then wait for the next instruction. But there was nothing. And every time I would think about, I have to go to the service, and I would start to get nervous, and I'd say, well, you'll just have to work it out. I'm going to get nervous. I have no idea what's going to happen. And so when I got here, we did all of the singing, and for rehearsal, in the middle of rehearsal, I remember telling the team, go ahead and start praise and worship now. It's starting now. Like, this is sing to him. This is already starting. And then I remember saying to Imani, I don't think we might not sing any of these songs anyway, but so we singing them now. And so the service, when it started, that's exactly how it went. We ended up starting early, and we didn't sing any of those songs. I had no idea what was going on.
This is an example of being spiritually fit.
Oh, okay.
This is, and I'm going to expound on that. This is an example of being spiritually fit. When you first started out, it's like some individuals that are out of shape, and they first start out and they're very windy, and they can only do one leg lift. They can only do a half a sit-up. They can walk from the couch to the bathroom and then have a seat, and then later on, after they become physically fit, they can run for miles, come back in, they're not windy at all. Special forces can run for miles and not get windy at all. I kept hearing that from the time you took the seat. The Lord reminded me of what he said to me earlier today. And it exemplifies what we have on our workout attire. God can, God will. Our workout attire, because you make sure that I work out. From the beginning of this year, I was praying about that and making sure with the classes at Global Arts of Senior Fit and Yoga and Zumba and all of that, making sure we get the workout in. But there is bodily exercise profits little. It didn't say it didn't profit anything. Profit little, but you're talking about being spiritually fit. This is the year that we have to work on being physically fit, spiritually fit, and emotionally fit. Because the enemy attacks us on 3 levels. Physically, Jackie's attack against her eyes. Physically, Devon's attack feeling dizzy. Spiritually, he will attack us. Attack you with fear, and that's where your faith steps out ahead and takes wings and causes you to soar over your fears. That's because you're physically fit. You learn how to rise above the turbulence. When you're flying, the planes just simply go to a different altitude. They said, we have a lot of turbulence, we're going to go to another altitude. Being spiritually fit, you learn how to pull up above the turbulence. You understand that this song will pull us up. This intercession will pull us up. Not just any intercession, but prophetic intercession. Intercession is stirring to plead with God on behalf of mankind who may be willing or unwilling to plead for themselves. We sense the urgency and prompting of the Lord to talk with Jesus. We bind and loose in the spirit realm on behalf of others. Prophetic, coupled with that, is divinely inspired, is you praying what heaven is decreeing and declaring. Prophetic intercession. You're praying by the inspiration of God. You're saying it by the inspiration of God. So there is a backing behind it. You're not just pleading. You're stepping into the warfare. You're seeing in the spirit realm, and you're declaring how the battle will go. You're binding demons. You're releasing angels. You're seeing which way the warfare is tilted so that you tilt it in your favor. So being physically fit is very important this year, to work on your physical fitness, your ability to live a long time. It takes lungs to sing, am I correct?
Yes.
In order to be able to sing properly, Does your physical fitness have a bearing on dancing? I was telling my husband, I remember when Gabrielle would dance and she would have asthma attack so bad, I spent the whole time praying. I couldn't enjoy the dance. I was just praying, God, please don't let me have to call an ambulance. Please don't let her faint. Don't let her pass out. Because the lungs, your legs, your back, all of your body has to engage to push those gifts. If you're going to prophesy, breathing properly, hearing. So you have to work on your physical side so that you feel well enough to carry out your spiritual mandate. You can be a spiritual powerhouse, but if you're not physically fit, will you be able to stand long enough to sing? What happens if you're out of shape naturally and you're trying to sing? Does it have any implication on that? Any bearing on your voice, on singing?
Yes, it'll make you out of breath,
And if you're out of breath,
it'll limit the range of the notes that you can hit. But also, of course, there are exceptions to the rule of people who are just naturally gifted and they can be out of breath and still do well. But always, the fitter you are, the more in shape you are, the better. The easier it is for you to breathe. The better it will sound, or the quality of your voice, and all of that kind of stuff.
Right, absolutely. The longer you can pray, think about it. When she mentioned walking the floor and praying, or if you're sitting there, if you're in bad shape physically, that has a bearing. Without the super on your natural, there are exceptions, that has a bearing on the gift. So it's very, very important. The heart is you're working on the heart, which is a muscle. Working on the lungs, which is a muscle. It's very important for the blood flow to the brain that you work on your body this year. Get up and move around. A body in motion stays in motion. God designed us with feet for a reason. He gave us lungs for a reason, a heart for a reason. We're meant to move around, to exercise. So therefore, having a fasted life, but working out physically so that you'll have longevity. Working out physically so you feel better emotionally. I notice when I exercise, I feel so much better. The endorphins that are released, it just brings pleasure. I can feel a little gloomy, and if I start exercising, by the time I finish, I am ready to take on the world. How many of you have ever buried someone that you love? Journey on. How many of you have ever gone through heartbreak? Journey on. How many of you have ever experienced an unwanted divorce? Journey on. How many of you have ever lost a dream? What you dreamed of doing all your life? Journey on. How many of you have ever lost a home through bankruptcy, foreclosure, whatever reason? I say to you, journey on. How many of you have ever lost a job? Either you were laid off or fired. Having to reinvent yourself. Yes. Menopause made me reinvent myself. Having children made me reinvent myself. Getting married, I had to reinvent myself. When I stopped teaching and went into full-time ministry, I had to reinvent myself. So life is filled with swift transitions. It's filled with change. So we have to reinvent ourselves and journey on. Journey on. Journey on.
Journey On has been released and is receiving rave reviews from professionals across several fields. Judge Hubert Grimes says Dr-Vernette-Rosier uses her own life story to not only testify of the multiple seasons of pain in her life, but uses her experiences to bring hope and deliverance to the reader who may have had or is experiencing similar issues. Therapist Winona Allen says, as a counselor, I was ecstatic about the clinical research and the high intensity of grief work being done in this book, Journey On. Dr. Dolores Peace says, Dr. Rosier helps us to understand our humanity and the need to address what happens to us as individuals when we grieve. Don't avoid pain. Do the grief work and use this book to help you do the work necessary to grieve in a healthy manner. To place your order, visit our website, vyrosierministries.org, or you can contact us via phone at 810-DREAM08.
Okay, so we were in Mexico, and it was the night before the first session, so I guess it was our first night on the ship. And I was alone in my room, and the Spirit just brought me to the stage like intercession. And so I started interceding over my future spouse, which I've been known to do that growing up, but it just hit me like a brick wall. Right now's the time to intercede. So I was sitting there praying in my hotel room, and I eventually fall asleep just in prayer. Well, the next day, we're at the sessions and being poured into by all of the dynamic speakers that we had, and at the end of the service, Dr-Vernette started prophesying over me, and she was very specific in what she was saying, and two of the things that she said, out of the, I would say 5 or 6 bullet points you had, number one was that Lavish would be given a vehicle. Well, we were given a vehicle.
You ain't God.
Crazy, came out of nowhere, that's a weird story itself, but we were given a vehicle. Secondly, she spoke of a man who was going to come into my life and who was going to be a divine partner in ministry. And not only that, but he would have such a heart to serve people that would match the same level of passion that I have to serve people. And what do you know? This guy who was actually the treasurer on my board, we had a business partnership for 8 months. There was nothing ever there, and he just kind of fell into my lap. I was like, oh my goodness. So,
Fell into your lap as in heart connection?
yes, 100%. 100%. Great, brilliant again. From September 1st to October, we've set a wedding date for October, What's the date?
Oh, I'll be able to come to
August the 13th, October 13th.
It's the next day, that's the next week after the women's stuff.
Oh, good job.
We're good. So, I just want to let you know, it was encouraging to me that you spoke so specific about many things, but also you also said that Lavish was going to go through a shift. And that shift is taking place, more people are stepping up into leadership roles, and no more am I the one-man show, thank the Lord, because it was getting overwhelming, so I learned to delegate, and people are rising up, and it's been a shift, but it's been going really, really good.
I'm so excited. And I met her through my wonderful lifetime friend. I think I met her at age 20, Charlotte Ingram. If you're watching Charlotte, friends for life. We are friends for life. And Charlotte talked to me about you, and I wasn't able to make it to her conference. I think my brother had just passed, or make it to her conference that year. But our ladies came back raving about your session, and we were able to get you to cruise with us. So I just love you. It was just love connections at first sight. Not the way the man. Now, what is his name? So I won't keep calling him the man.
His name is Christian.
Christian, yeah. So is Christian a Christian?
Oh, absolutely, of course. That'd be a deal breaker if he wasn't.
Okay, well, good. Congratulations. We're looking forward to October 3rd. Exercise profits little, but exercise profits. So it's very good that you exercise and exercise your emotions. What we're hovering over now is exercising your spiritual side. What they were doing is, I'm exercising their spirit tonight by going back and talking about what happened on Sunday, asking them probing questions. I'm exercising their spirit man for them to, she was exercising her spirit. What can I do? I feel faint. Should I call for a song? Should I call for intercession? She's exercising that gift. By reason of usage, your gift is stronger. By reason of usage, you'll get the better mileage out of it, and you can lift others. I discovered when she was a cheerleader at FAMU, Florida A&M University at 16, I was amazed that she was able to lift a girl with one hand. And she kept saying, Mom, that's a technique. And I said, that's also strength. They had them lifting weights. So there's techniques that come up to with the spiritual side, but it's also strength. Your ability, her ability not just to carry herself across that stage and not faint, but to carry that congregation, to be able to call other individuals and put them in place. That's by reason of usage, she's exercised that gift. She's exercised her spirit man, so that your spirit man is strong enough to carry you when there is an attack. By reason of exercising your spirit man, when the attack happens, you can carry, it'll literally carry you to the next place. You can bring your body under subjection. You can bring your emotions under subjection. So it's very, very important to exercise your emotions. How do we exercise our emotions? We can make a conscious decision that I won't make it about me, but I'll make it about how the other person is feeling. As Bob Jones would always tell me, hon, don't take it personal. And I would always say, don't take it personal. I feel like crying. It's not you, it's somebody else crying. I can cave in and say, I'm going to go ahead and cry today because it's the same day that my brother passed a year ago. Instead, there's someone that's watching by Facebook Live, and you've been in tears all day long. You've been battling tears. You felt like crying to someone sitting here in the room. You've been battling tears. You've been emotional all day long. You've been on the verge of tears. The enemy's tried to tell you just lay down and cry your way through. Don't even bother to get up and get dressed. Who are you that's in the room? Raise your hand. And that person passing by Facebook, go ahead and send a message and let us know it's you. We're praying. You bring your emotions under control by talking to your emotions, telling your emotions what God is saying about what you're going through, telling your emotions what the Word says, telling your emotions, this is not the time and not the place, we're going to rise above it. Here is what we're going to do. We'll feed this by, while I'm helping somebody else, there's somebody else in the room that didn't raise their hand also, aside from Gabrielle, that you've been weeping. You feel like now just crying. You've been fighting the whole time you've been here. The enemy, you want to just break out and cry. Where are you? It wasn't just Gabriel, it was another person that should have had their hand up and the tension on their neck as well. I feel like I can't turn my neck where the enemy's been putting tension and stress on that. We speak healing over them now in the name of Jesus. That person is on Facebook Live, healing from the damaged emotions. And I thank you for strengthening those emotions, Lord, so they can handle the emotional attacks. Watch for the emotional attacks that will have you succumbing to depression, succumbing to lethargic spirit that will make you just simply throw up your hands and say, I quit. An emotion, rage, you're just having a fit rather than bringing your emotions under control. No, I am not going to kick a hole in that TV. I need to buy another one. This is going to cost me more money. Emotions will tell you, you get upset on the road and you shoot a bird. That's emotional. No, we're not shooting a bird. Why are we shooting a bird? We are a Christian. What is that going to do? Why are we cursing someone else out? Bringing your emotions under control by simply saying, perhaps they're having a bad day. You start singing to yourself, their issue is not my issue. This was just an accident. I didn't mean to pull over in front of them. While they're shooting the bird, I'm waving at them and praying for them. When God help them, that it don't kill anybody else. Guess what it does? It changes the other person. So we're talking about being fit. What? Spiritually? Say it with me. We're talking about being fit.
Spiritually, physically,
and emotionally. Being physically fit. So we work on strengthening our emotions. We're not crying about everything. A leaf fell from a tree and I just felt like crying. I looked over and there was nobody on that road and I just decided I'd been abandoned and I just felt like crying. Somebody walked past me, the waitress helped the other person, and I just said, oh, I'm rejected. I didn't think about the waitress was having a migraine and she was going to the boss to say, I need to take her off. I can't handle it anymore. We're going to take control of our emotions, sanctify them, surrender them to God. Instead of being emotionally led, we're going to be spiritually led. Can we say that? Yeah. Spiritually led. So this year we're going to work on being physically fit. Spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So the way that we become physically fit is picking ourselves up emotionally. Oh, we haven't played our praise song again. This is going to get me where I need to be emotionally. I felt like crying, but now I feel like dancing. This song is going to get me there. Oh, I listened to that word and the word lifted me. Now I feel like preaching. I feel like laughing. I feel like dancing. Oh my, I just got through quoting the scripture. I listened to this sermon and this sermon made me just want to run and dance. I was looking at a preacher last night and they were preaching so profusely. I was on an exercise bike and I started just really pedaling. Yes, I was breaking a sweat and getting really hot and thinking, good, I plan to go 30 minutes. By the time I finished listening to the preacher, I had done an hour and I realized I edited both parts of the broadcast, Spirit of Rejection 1 and 2, and I was that preacher. I thought, great, I forgot it was me. I stirred myself up. I kept saying to that person, oh, good word. Yeah, like that. We need to put that in a book. I need to sell that. Rejection part 1 and rejection part 2. I forgot that I was the person preaching it. Those words light me, lift me, excited me, and it made my body respond. Not to how I felt driving in from off the road late night and I was feeling physically exhausted. Not how I felt spiritually, because I was aware of I was in that day and time a year ago that I buried my brother, and the highway kept turning into Highway 27 Havana, except I was on Highway 231 heading into Panama City and kept going into a trance, and the highway was Highway 27 heading toward Havana. But on that night, listen to a sermon, and what is ironic is God will use the very words that he gave you, this very teaching, training, scripture that I had taught, that it was as if I didn't hear that message. I hadn't been in that service, hadn't preached it. It encouraged me and blessed me, so I went back in to play it a second time. So we're working on being physically fit, emotionally fit, and spiritually fit.
All right, life, here I come. Who is it? Who is it? It's Grief. Excuse me?
I came to manage you since you didn't manage me, and this is gonna be fun.
Whatever. What in the world? Who is it?
Hello, darling. It's Betrayal. How are you, Betrayal?
I don't want you.
Hey, I'm coming on the journey with you.
Oh,
Thank
no, you can't come with me.
Yes, thank
and
you.
I definitely don't want that one over there.
Oh, hey, how you doing? I didn't know you was gonna be here. This
Oh,
is
no.
absolutely wonderful. Yes.
Who is it? Who is it? Hi, honey. Who are you? I'm Deb. Deb?
This one you on me? You think
Oh,
this
no,
one
I
up?
bind and rebuke you right now in the name of
Oh,
Jesus.
hush.
I'm not here for
Deb.
you. I'm here for your family and your friends.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
Who are you? I am just in time. Hey, y'all! I'm Cancer. Oh, no. No, you definitely
wait a
can't.
minute.
Bye.
People don't invite me, but I
Felicia.
come anyway. I'm going to eat.
When are we leaving?
Yes, we need to leave.
I'm God. Don't worry. I'm coming with you. Let's journey together.
I'll help.
Wait. Bye, Felicia.